Yes, I want to start the stream. Streaming has begun.
I've got the webinars page ready, so I will swap out the link. Consolidate all my windows down. I found that helps as I, with these multiple screens, I push stuff down so you can't see it, Otherwise it's a distraction. test it over here, make sure it's working. Test it over here, make sure it's
I'm
working.
hearing you.
Yeah, me too. Let me unmute that.
I'm hearing you.
Yeah, me too. Let me unmute that. We're getting better at this.
Hey, it's 9:59. We got audio working. The stream is live. There's
I
people
know.
watching us. I think we figured it out.
It took us a while.
I
But
miss
I'm proud
Google
of y'all. Y'all
Meet.
did so far.
I really
do
miss
too.
Google
Do too,
Meet
right?
making this work. Oh
Right.
boy.
yeah, we were spoiled by that.
Indeed.
Hey, but we got the opportunity to learn something new. The OBS, I like the power of it.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, there's just so much to
I
make
got to
work.
learn something cool. Yeah.
But who knew that I have like 5 different audio inputs?
right?
Or
Kills
how
me as a
much complicated life is when you have 5, or 3 monitors and you're trying to figure out how to
Which
input
one?
a source.
All
yeah,
right, well,
Jake, you were right on that.
should we just? I was right on what?
Well, you've been one to use the one screen for how long?
It simplifies
And
life.
it does, man. That day I did it a
It does
couple
a
weeks
little bit.
ago. I mean, I was like, boy, I'm messing this all up.
Well, let's start on time. What do you say?
I like that.
All right.
Well, good morning, everyone. February 2nd, 2021. Couple days before the Super Bowl, Amy found she didn't get it in there in time, but she found the best meme that says, I want things to go back to normal, but I don't want Tom Brady back in the Super Bowl. But as a Browns fan, at least we can watch Belichick get mad because he left our team all those years ago. So I'm joined by Jake Standish, Amy Slack, Sagan Shahaki is in the background lurking as always does, and we've got Puppy Cam today. So it's my way of watching to make sure he's not chewing on things because that's what they do. First thing on the list is our reminders. As Jake clicks on that, reminder that these webinars are recorded. You can view them asynchronously. So we're posted. I actually already posted it. I'm getting better about that. Canvas.cmslearns.org is the site that we curate for Canvas for the district related to things that we're seeing. We actually added one new resource today, which we'll discuss. bit.ly/CMS Google account. It is case sensitive, but that's a reference that Amy made that's really, really good for helping resolving account conflict. And again, we're going to go farther with that one today as well. If you got questions at any point during the meeting or afterwards when you're watching asynchronously, remember j.mp/ITPD office hours. We'll get those questions and keep an eye on it. Tickets wise, man, I can't remember the person, but we had one come through that they had student IDs, course URLs. I mean, made it really, really easy for us to troubleshoot. So the more information you can give us, please do. Those things really help us get to the issue real quick and see what's going on. If you're in our PD support course forms, each course has its own link for support within the course. Please go directly to those and submit. Amy monitors that and does a great job. What did we say our numbers were the other day? 1160 in Canvas and 500 in Google Drive Challenge that have finished.
It's good
So
stuff.
I know yeah, good stuff. We got a lot enrolled. So keep plugging away on it. We have pushed out credit for the month. If there's an issue, please submit the form and Amy can take a look and let us know and we'll make sure that's good. Power School changes are continuing to happen. So remember 24 to 72 hours on those. And digital learning consultations. We've got some Calendly links from Miss Cloud and Mr. Harrison. Trish and Aubrey are helping out with some of those, whether it's content type stuff. So feel free to click on those links and sign up for one of their Calendly sessions. Jake, if you'll go back to the
Oh
home
yeah, I gotta
page,
go home, don't I? Yep.
should be
Okay.
set up.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. First item on the list is grade passback troubleshooting. We've made a new presentation for this because we're seeing a lot of it. We're spending a lot of time waiting on grade syncs. So this is posted on canvas.cms learns as well, but if you will, make sure you check out this link on how to resolve the grade passback issues. Please share it with your staff as well. These are the steps that we take every time we do this. So when we're on the assignments page, the first thing we do is re-click that import assignment groups. On the example I have here with the red bar, this course does not have those assignment groups imported. even if that red bar is not there, we still do this again. And the reason we're doing this is a lot of times what we're seeing is course was set up for grade passback, new section was created as students were moved around, and it is not syncing to the 700 sections. That's happening a lot. So we do it again. Then we go to the grade sync page. So Jake, if you go ahead and click that
Yep.
slide, um, go to the grade sync page and be patient. Get a cup of
There
coffee, as Sagan said. Take your time and wait for it. It's going to take a little bit, and then it'll show up on the bottom there. I've got grade syncs only showing up, but it'll show up as what's called a category sync. Um, so let that finish. If it completes with a check mark, there's no error. If it has the red exclamation point, there's an issue. Um, and that happens. That's okay. Click that. It'll give
And
you, Jake, if you
it
click it, it should.
if there is an issue, most likely importing assignment groups is the cause, or the assignment is not in an imported assignment group. Those are the two fundamental issues.
Yeah. So then after the category sync finishes, if you go to the settings on the grade sync page, you click remaster grade passback, you get to wait again, which is awesome. So you have to wait 2 times on this, but what'll happen is you'll get that message of whether or not it's completed and if there's an issue. If this process does not work, which it usually does, that's when you submit a ticket to us and we'll take a look further, because there have been some wonky things that we've been finding. But this is the process Jake and I use daily in our tickets.
Yeah. And note, if you're a facilitator supporting your teachers, you do not need to see their Power School gradebook to support this. We rarely go to the teacher's Power School gradebook to support this. You just import the assignment groups, check the messages, and figure out what those messages mean, which is the next thing we're going to look at. But it does not require you to have access to Power School to do this.
Well, and to go a step further as well, we do not have access to Power Teacher Pro. So we cannot see that, but we're still able to support it. So as Jake said, there's some common errors that we see. The first one here is grading category is missing. This means that the assignment groups are not syncing properly. Maybe the sections may not be syncing with the assignment groups. So this is why we do that grade passback, passback assignment group import first. So this is a common error. We put some additional details on there for you as well.
Another one is unable to create the assignment because it's locked. That means the due date is from a previous grading period. So it will not be able to pass to that previous grading period because you're not allowed to update grades from semester one today. So you have to disable Power School Sync for that assignment in order for a successful grade passback to complete.
And I think we're seeing less of that one. Would you agree?
There is still a few here and there. I've
Okay.
been monitoring the grade sync logs periodically throughout the day, and most of it's the assignments in the wrong category. The overwhelming majority, but there are a few assignments in a locked grading period.
And remember, when you're on the assignments page and you're supporting a teacher, we've added that additional notifications, whether it's the red or the blue. So if that red shows up, odds are it's in the wrong assignment group. And if it's in the correct assignment group, that could be where a category sync is needed. And then the last thing on that slide, Jake, I think was the help page, which flashed for a minute
Additional
there.
resources, yeah.
Yeah. So the link up there we've talked about before, that gives you the error messages. So it could be a good reference. And if you need help, contact Canvas chat support. We do it all the time.
Yeah.
And they'll get, it's a great tool. They can see more than we can oftentimes and help support this.
Frankly, the most teachers that are struggling with this, they could do live chat, and the person on the other end would be able to explain exactly what the problem is. Your assignments aren't in the correct assignment group. Move them over to here, or the due date is wrong. Things like that. They'll be able to give that explanation as well as we can. It's a live chat.
And a reminder on this too, that live chat is provided as a part of our contract with Canvas, so it's available for all staff.
So this resource, of course, is in our presentation here, but you'll also find it at the canvas.cmslearns.org. All you have to do, what's the key term you want to search for there, Justin?
grades
That
sync.
works.
Yeah, I added some additional ones behind the
Grade
scenes there.
sync or grade passback troubleshooting. That's it. The
Yep.
grade passback troubleshooting. Just search grade and it'll be the third option. As of right now, at least. As we keep growing resources, who knows? But look for that grade passback troubleshooting.
You want
All
this
right.
next one?
Yeah. So we just discovered this. Google Assignments, the HTML issue. This is not a new issue, but apparently Google has been aware of this issue. So it's we just saw it in a ticket with Canvas, and they've pointed this out now. So Google Assignments, part of what we use with Canvas, is not just a Canvas product, right? This is Google's uh, built learning tools interoperability resource for any learning management system. But it looks like since September of 2019, they've been aware of this issue where when you go to as the teacher to view the assignment, it tells you that it's the HTML cannot be read, and it simply means that the assignment it cannot be viewed by you. Um, so what we have been telling in the past and will continue is recommend that the student resubmit the assignment because you're not going to be able to view it the way it is currently assigned. But another option there is to ask the student, or yeah, you can see here it says this file contains HTML and cannot be previewed. If your teachers are seeing that, yes, tell the student to resubmit. The other recommendation from Google is to have them share the file so that anyone with the link can view it. And we have not been able to test that. We've only just discovered this message. What was it? This morning we added it. It wasn't even in the email of the agenda because we just found this. Sadly, it's been here a while and doesn't look like they've done any other updates to it. And they've closed this conversation, so we can't even say, "Hey, we're still seeing it too." But right now, those are the recommendations. Have the student resubmit, and whatever file they're submitting, have them share it so that anyone in the world can view it with the link. Would be the recommendations that we're getting. Um, so yeah, that's just a quick update concerning Google Assignments and that HTML issue that you may see in SpeedGrader when trying to view it. Yeah. Next is viewing and restoring deleted items.
Yeah, we had a couple tickets this week where people had deleted stuff, didn't
Yep.
realize they deleted it, and I tried to find some good documentation. Amy helped me out as well. This is not actually documented really well anywhere, but it's just adding the slash undelete. So if you go to your course homepage and add slash undelete after the course ID, you can get to this restore items page, and this allows you to restore items that have been deleted from your course.
It's
I believe there are some caveats with it, but the one resource I found was very specific to another school district and I didn't use it. But again, you can search it as well. Um, but it's a good little trick that we use sometimes. The one drawback to it is it doesn't show you who deleted it.
Nope.
I jumped down that rabbit hole. Was it Friday? I think couldn't find it anywhere in the data, even with the API calls.
Nope.
It's not there.
The
So
though some aspects of that, if you restore a module after you delete it, it will restore the module, the text of the module. It doesn't restore all the items inside of it, so you'll have to recreate that module.
that we've had to put that in the tickets as well.
Yeah.
So good catch on that, Jake.
Yeah. But it is extremely useful. Great resource. We've had sometimes the tickets come in. Help! I've lost these resources. They've just gone missing. And like, well, go to undelete, and there it is. So it can be a good thing to remind your teachers. On that / undelete for your course URL will show anything that's been deleted in the course. So it's really good to look for that. Just a reminder. All right.
Next one is a follow up to last week with the custom search engines. So, in an effort to continue to push people towards using the Canvas guides because it's what we use, have given the instructions for setting up another custom search engine in Chrome for the Canvas guides. So some of the instructions you're going to see are the same, where you go to the three dot icon in Chrome and then go to settings, and then in the search, you search search engine is what I do, and you go to manage your search engine. From there, you're going to want to add a new search, and we've given you the information for that. Again, the shortcut is your own. I use CG. Um, I
For
don't know,
Canvas
Jake, what do you
guides.
use? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same.
And then that hot pink button, I made it nice and pretty. If you click that hot pink button, it just is a simple published document. And the reason I did that is the URL you need to search the Canvas guides is pretty long. So
Yes, it is.
if you if you just copy and paste that, put it in the last box for the URL, that'll create a custom search engine for the Canvas guides, and then you can search what you need to. So like the undelete option, I just pressed CG tab and searched undelete and restore, and I was able to see the different resources. So
Hmm.
it's a good little trick to help you get there faster, because I know I personally don't want to go into Canvas, click the little icon for the folder and click the button. This is a fast way to handle that.
Indeed. All right. Yep.
And then what do we got back on the home page? Oh yeah. What's next?
A couple of how-tos here. Quiz
Yeah.
moderation is a very key feature. A lot of teachers discover this as they're setting up quizzes, and especially when it's timed and you're like synchronous, watching the kids take the quiz. It's really useful there. You can see how well they're doing. You can also use it quite well for asynchronous, though. So you give them a couple of days to finish the quiz. You can see how long it took each student to do it, how many attempts. You could even uh, be knowing that maybe a student needs another attempt. You can edit and modify, add an accommodation for a specific student if you need to, right here from the quiz moderation feature.
Well, and the other things too to think about, what Jake, when you say this asynchronously, is we had this issue with my son the other day. He took a quiz and immediately retook it again, and he went through it quickly without taking the time to do the work to do better. So you're able to see how many attempts they've had and be able to monitor that, and it's a good way to kind of talk to the student. Hey, what do you do to improve? How
Yeah.
long are you taking on this? Are you rushing through this or not? But then the other thing I saw is we had an issue with a student. Something happened. Teacher was able to go in and allow that student to get an extra attempt. So it can be a very powerful tool.
Indeed.
And then the last thing on the agenda is a Chrome tip. Um, we realized we have a bunch of these, so we're going to start doing these more often, because yes, we're the Canvas guys, but we do a lot more with tech and anything to make things easier. Did
It's
it pop
not.
up for you?
No.
Did I not link it?
Let's see. I'm opening in a new tab. Just goes to the presentation,
Which presentation?
the Canvas admin
Oh,
office hours. Yeah, so your
oops.
Google
Hold on.
Chrome tips isn't. Is it in?
Deleted slide. Oh, yeah, I know what I did. Hold on. That was my fault. I was adjusting things yesterday as we. So edit, get rid of slides and presentation. There it is. Jake, if you go ahead and refresh, should be good to go. My
That
fault
one?
on that.
Yep.
There we go. I pulled the first slide because it was funny too. Um, so the first thing we wanted to focus on is something that we see a lot, and you may be seeing it without realizing you're seeing it. So we're trying to help you be aware of that as well. There is a difference between signing into Google and signing into Chrome. The two pictures show you. So if you go to Google Drive and you click on your Google Drive icon on the top right, you'll see either one or two accounts. That tells you if you're signed into Google. But if you go to the upper right, and you can see that the example I got was Fred Flintstone, that tells you
Oops.
what is the primary account signed in.
Yeah.
Jake, were you going to look at it?
Yeah, I was gonna. So yep, Chrome, and then all these other people.
Yep. So those are the multiple accounts Jake has. But Jake, if you go to Google Drive, and we see this a lot where people go to Google Drive and they'll click Add Account. Click on your picture.
Yeah.
Actually, I lied.
You said go to Google Drive. I know. I was there. Yeah. Add another account right here. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Just causes a lot of trouble. and confusion
Causes
about
conflict.
what file, who owns it, who can access it, and which is your active Google account right now in this browsing session.
Yeah. So there is a difference. The presentation link we gave to you in the slides today, it goes through what it looks like, how to resolve it, how to fix it, and just be aware that there is a difference between signing into Google and signing into Chrome. We only sign into Chrome, and as Jake is pointing out on the screen in the video, he's got multiple accounts signed into Chrome. And what's nice is, um, when I was a teacher, I would only sign in with my CMS Google account, and I would never sign it with my personal account, because then that avoids any of those documents being accidentally shared or presented, or even like if I create something going to the wrong account. So
Yeah.
avoid account conflict at all costs. So if you click the pretty pink button, which I made for Amy again, um, that'll pull up the presentation. It'll give you more information about how to resolve account conflict.
Yep. Yeah, that's extensive. Highly recommend. Very good. All right. Well, a reminder when using the form for questions at j.mp/itpd office hours, do not put in student IDs or email addresses. Just avoid personally identifiable information. And we're going to switch over to those questions now. So let me bring up the script. There we are. All right. So first, Suzanne's asking for a suggestion for a timer students can set on their Chromebooks to help remind them it's time for another Zoom. So I would recommend, what's the set timer for, and you pick how long, and Google Chrome will just start the timer. Like, that's what I'd recommend. If you want a countdown timer, there you go. And it will put up an alarm. It will make a very loud noise and keep alerting you while you're off in another tab until you come back to this one. So that would be my recommendation. A real simple thing. You just type set timer for. Actually, I think you could even create that URL and put it into a course. Let's see if I do.
Can you really?
Yeah. If I just copy that, and here, I'll put it in our chat and see how that does. Yeah, see if that timer worked
Now
for
I'm
you.
curious.
But YouTube has timers as well. I think you can set up different YouTube timers for different time spans. These are all 25 because that's what I set in the search. But like, there's a.
I guess the other question is, could you create calendar events with the Zoom links on there as well?
Absolutely.
That's what I've done for my kids, is I have calendar events, and you can do that in Canvas.
Yeah. So yeah, there are different options for that. But those are some easy things. Don't require any install. Just using the browser would be our recommendation for that. Brianna, yeah, I read this earlier. I already have some ideas about that. She's just saying that she'd like to see the date somewhere in the video. So we could put that right on the slides. Like, we can just update the master slide and put it right here next to the j.mp ITPD office hours with today's date.
That's
So
a
they
good
can
idea.
see that it's only on our home slide, and we're not always on home when they join. So they won't know for sure, is this live or is this. So yeah, we could do something like that to help
That's a good idea.
indicate that. So thank you, Brianna. And another question she has: I have a situation where a teacher is leaving and I now have a long-term sub. So just that first sentence, Brianna, the answer to your questions after that are all dependent on what your PowerSchool data manager is going to do, which is why we can't emphasize enough how important it is that you have a relationship with your PowerSchool data manager and that you are aware of what they are planning to do. If the data manager is just leaving the teacher on leave as the lead teacher in PowerSchool, if they are making no changes in PowerSchool, then yes, you just add the teacher, the sub, to that teacher's course or courses, and they'll be able to facilitate the learning. If the PowerSchool data manager, however, chooses to make the long-term sub the lead teacher. We've had this situation happen, so I cannot tell you that this won't happen because we've seen it happen. If they chose to do that, or change who the lead teacher is in any way in PowerSchool, then the students will get moved to a new course in Canvas, and you will need to cross list um, to rectify. So it's really just a question of what the data manager is doing to the PowerSchool record. If they are doing nothing to the PowerSchool record, then you can just add other teachers to the course and they'll be able to facilitate. And when the teacher on leave comes back, they'll still be in the course and no disruption in Canvas really happens as a result. But if changes happen in PowerSchool, those changes will happen in Canvas, and if you need the students to come back to the original teacher's course, then you must cross-list. I hope that's clear enough, but yeah. It probably, based on what you're saying, probably you can just add the sub, but I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you to talk to your data manager and determine as a team what needs to happen. If the data manager is not changing things in PowerSchool, then yeah, you can just add the sub. All right. Let's see. Beth is saying, is there a way to find out who deleted and changed slides if the person went in as anonymous? So we're talking about Google Slides, I'm assuming. Changed, if they deleted or changed Google Slides and they were anonymous, that means that this slide deck is created in a way that anyone in the world can edit without even being logged into Google. And that was a decision by the owner or collaborator on that slide deck to allow that situation, which is precisely what it says. If they are allowed to access it anonymously, they are anonymous. There is no way to tell. Now, if you kept it locked in so that only CMS users could see it, then that would be a different situation. But yeah, if you keep it anonymous, then or allow anyone in the world to see it, then that's not going to work. That's it. Reminder, j.mp/itpd office hours if you have any questions. Looks like Amy is busy with other stuff. It's
Isn't
funny.
she
I
always?
keep looking and seeing her make hand gestures and facial expressions, and I'm realizing, oh, it's not us. It's okay.
I got to give it to her. She can multitask in a way that I can't, man. I get more than one meeting going on. I lose it.
Yeah, indeed.
Like the dog from the movie Up. Squirrel. They're good and passed out too, thankfully. Don't forget as well, if you're still with us, the Canvas admin consultation hours are still set up in the course. Jake, I did approve one the other day, by the way, or today. So we got
Okay.
one coming.
Yeah, I saw that for tomorrow, right?
I didn't look at the time. I saw it got approved and I saw the object there, but I didn't look at the time. So
all's good.
Yeah. Man, he's passed out. That's good. Scary thing is I can hear all the footsteps outside the room with the kids. I don't know what they're doing. Probably hungry as always.
I'm getting some bit rate error issues in YouTube Studio. It's saying that it's the stream isn't smooth, but
I did see it spin a couple times here.
Okay.
So, how does your meet
looks,
data look?
That's a good question. I have to.
So, if you haven't seen this, you could probably expand your window to see it, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's what I got to do. It's funny how meeting is not exactly responsive for any screen size. It's just funny. So troubleshooting.
Did it say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it just isn't, right? You got to expand it to get to these buttons. So go to troubleshooting and No
Is it
connection
troubleshooting?
delay. Looks pretty
The
good.
troubleshooting and help icon.
Yeah, that's where I am.
What is system load?
CPU usage is great. So system load is just saying this section is called system load, where it shows the CPU usage and recommended to close other tabs you don't need and apps. That's it.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, looks okay.
Figure give it another minute or so.
Yep. See if we got any other questions. All right, here we go. So Nisha's asking, I have a student who is having trouble signing into Canvas. I logged in under her account to see what she saw, and I could see her dashboard, but I kept asking her to sign in. Could this be a Chromebook update issue? It's like her Google and Canvas accounts are syncing. So, yeah, Nisha, I guess we would need context. So that it needs to be a help desk ticket because we can't have you give us the student ID over the call here. But when you look up a user, um, I'm just going to look up myself. And we can see my login info here. You can see the last time they logged in with either of the accounts. So you can see both accounts when you look up a user, both their NC Ed Cloud ID as well as their email address. The email address is the Google login. The NCID is NC Ed Cloud login. So it's showing here that I last logged in using NC Ed Cloud on January 26th, and I last logged in using my Google account on February 2nd. So one of the things you can look at when you look up a user at your school, you see the login information, it will tell you the last time they logged in with either of those accounts. So it gives you a good idea as to which account they have most recently used to log in. Oftentimes we see they're only using one of those. They just get used to using whichever one they like to use. So that's a nice thing to note there. So you'll be able to tell exactly which account they used to log in, and whether if it's their Google account and they're not getting in now, do they have is their Google password need to be reset, that kind of stuff. If you don't see a second account with their email address here, and it'll have like student underscore their student ID and then underscore G for Google. If you don't see that second account with the underscore G, then they don't have a login to use Google for Canvas, and that's a configuration issue. It just means that they didn't. They've been provisioned since the last time we trued up the login information. We've been doing that once a week. So if they're a very new user, that would be the case. But if they're existing, have been around a while, they should have that login, and there's no reason for that one to get deleted. There's no automated process that would delete it. So the Google logging in with Google is typically the most stable option for logging in. As you'll recall from August, that was the case. When NC Ed Cloud didn't work, Google still did. So if you use your Google account to log in, but if they're not logged in with their CMS account, when they click on log in with Google in Canvas, if they click log in with Google and they're not with their CMS account, it will not let them in. So they have to make sure they're signed in with just their CMS Google account when using that login with Google option, which goes back to those multiple Google accounts conversation we just had earlier here, and that slide deck that Justin was discussing. So that would be my suspicion about this. It just depends on what account they're using and how they're signing in. But if you're unable to troubleshoot it, put in a ticket and we'll take a look. All right. Next is a Zoom question. Whitney's asking, some of my staff have to uncheck the CMS authorization button for students to get in on their Chromebook. The CMS CMS authorization button to get into Zoom.
I wonder if
I
it's
don't-
almost like limiting if you must have a CMS account to get in.
Yeah. Is Mr. Zooms on the call? No, he's not. So yeah, well, not exactly sure how to answer that. We don't support Zoom. The help desk would be the only action that we have for that. Justin and I don't really use Zoom all that often, and it's not part of our scope of support. So I don't have a good answer for you, unfortunately.
I was kind of waiting for him to chime in as we kept saying the word Zoom, and he never did.
No, it's not just him. They can need to go to the help desk to answer.
I know.
So, all right. Yeah. Sorry about that, Whit, but there's really not an answer we can give you concerning that. Not sure what's going on there.
I keep thinking Amy's waving at us.
Sorry, guys. This is called online registration at Butler High School.
Keep him busy.
So it's a fun morning. Sounds like y'all are doing awesome, though.
Oh yeah, we're doing great.
Tag teaming it.
Yep.
She's awesome.
All right. Well, it is 10:35, and I think we're going to end the stream. Y'all have a good week, and just remember this form is here at all times. You can fill it out, and we will keep it up and answer them in the next meeting. And that's about it. So y'all have a good week, and we'll talk to you later.